Back on Sports Bet Betting Insight today, Paulie and Teddy at Paulie Howard at Teddy_covers on Twitter. NBA, less than a week away. The big story, Durant to the Warriors. Their win total 66, Teddy. What do you think? Well, let me start here. Who's the second best team in the West?
I have no idea. And I don't want to have an idea. I'm going to let the play on the floor show me who the second best team is in the West. There are a lot of choices as to who the second best team might be. It might be the Clippers coming to the campaign. I'm certainly not looking to sell L.A. short, but let's start with Golden State, because here's a team that went all out, set the all-time NBA win record last year, and then fell out of gas in game 5, 6, and 7 of the finals. This team has zero interest in the regular season, except for how do we get Durant into the mix, and how do we make Durant comfortable with all the different lineups. And does Kevin Durant make them better? Maybe, a little bit, you know.
A little bit.
That's just it. Kevin Durant's not going to be the guy here. He's going to be a complementary piece. When you have a team that already has great players at every position, and you add another great player, I don't know that from a power rating standpoint, I don't have Golden State power rated any higher than I did last year coming into this year. And given their lack of emphasis on the regular season this year, I would be surprised if a week or two into the campaign, I have them ranked lower than any point than I did last year, even with Kevin Durant coming to Golden State.
Expect some rest, expect some guys to sit, and Kerr already said he's going to experiment and tinker with a few things during the season. You know, sure, why not? Spurs, 57.5, their win total. Duncan retires, they bring in Paul Gasol.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heck of an addition, and Paul's a guy that you'd want on that team. I thought Pop would go with Duncan. I kind of thought they should have gone together. Are the Spurs the second best team in the West? They might be. They looked old at time last year, but that's, I mean, we think about the big three. The big three haven't been the guys for San Antonio in any of the last couple of years. Now with Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard and all of that. And Pau Gasol, interesting fit. I'm fascinated to see what Pop has him looking like. They might end up being a pretty good bet on squad if the markets have, but at 57.5, obviously the markets haven't devalued them too much yet.
I'm looking at the Rockets, and D'Antoni takes over. Harden's going to play point guard now. They're averaging 130 points per game in the preseason. So they surrounded Harden with shooters. They're going to be up and down, crazy tempo. And we'll see how the Rockets do this season. How about James Harden? Bet from 22-1 down to 8-1 in some spots to win the MVP. Ever see a move like that before on MVP?
It doesn't happen a lot because MVP is such a bad bet that nobody likes to make it. Or the wise guys don't get involved with MVP bets a lot. But when you have someone that is going to put up monster stats like Harden, if the Rockets are any good, he'll probably be in the discussion. So it makes some sense to have a move like that for Harden once he was announced that he was going to play the point.
The Celtics finally land a big-time free agent. Al Horford comes in from Atlanta. Are they the second best team in the East? They're 52.5.
I think so, yeah. I mean, look, we like Brad Stevens. We like everything that Boston has done throughout the Brad Stevens era. The problem with Boston, they've kind of been an under-the-radar team, and now they're not. You know, and in terms of Horford being the guy to carry a team to a championship, you know, he did. At Florida, he did. He had a whole lot of help. But in Atlanta, he never seemed to be the guy in the postseason that they could rely on to step up and help them win a series. But Boston has going to put a lot of emphasis on the regular season, unlike some of the other teams we're talking about. I could only look at the Celtics over 52.5. Okay,
the Bulls, how far have they gone down in your opinion? And the Knicks, a lot of money on the Knicks, believe it or not, in Las Vegas.
Well, I'm not surprised. Let's start. Okay, the Bulls are lined at 40, and the Knicks are lined at 40.5, and my power rating is the Bulls better than the Knicks. So, Freddie Hoiberg didn't have his roster last year. And Chicago lost a couple of big-name guys. Oh, Noah's gone. Oh, Rose is gone. The Bulls have Fred Hoiberg's roster now, and I think that they are coming into the season a really undervalued commodity. And the Knicks, as long as Carmelo's their superstar, and as long as Carmelo's the guy who's going to command the ball, now you get a washed-up point guard, and he's supposed to make you better. Yeah, you get to have to pay Derrick Rose a lot of money. I think the Bulls got the better of that deal, getting rid of that salary as opposed to the Knicks for picking it up.
Well, no surprise. We're both high on the Timberwolves like everybody, and they bring in Tibbs. Timberwolves thinking playoffs.
Oh, yeah, Timberwolves thinking playoffs. But the sleeper team in the West isn't Minnesota. It's Utah. I mean, Utah, they're lined at 47.5 wins. You know, Minnesota has the hot commodity, and everyone's like, Towns the guy. And, if we were starting a roster, the NBA GMs were all polled, and they said, Karl Anthony Towns would be our number one pick. So, and he may well be the low post behemoth that he was last year. But Utah played extraordinary defense under Quinn Snyder last year. They got the rim stopper, the rim protector in Rudy Gobert. The Jazz, of course, outside of any media market, outside of any hype machine, I think you'll make more money with Utah initially than you will with Minnesota.
Can the Blazers do it again? 45.5.
Jeez, I don't know.
What a story last year. What a story.
They were unbelievable last year. And, in theory, on paper, they should be just as good this year. But it just feels like the competition around, it feels like, number one, they overachieved. And number two, there's a lot of good teams in the West. Maybe not a lot of great teams, the way they were a few years back. But the competition in the West is fierce, man. And that doesn't make it easy for Portland to have the type of success they enjoyed in 2015-16.
Bottom of the league, the Lakers are 26 win total. Only the Nets are lower at 21. Who's more hopeless, the Sixers or the Lakers?
Well, the Lakers are more hopeless than the Sixers. The Sixers, but then, of course, then Ben Simmons gets hurt for Philly.
Yeah.
I know. The answer is they're both hopeless. But I think the Lakers will be bad for longer than the Sixers will be bad. The Sixers are going to get decent. The Lakers might be bad for a long, long time. A real long time. Because it's not like L.A. is the marquee destination. Even without Kobe, they couldn't get free agents to sign for what is now considered to be a subpar organization.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
So we're giving you picks every day, and you're probably making your own as well. Be sure to participate in SBR's weekly Twitter Bankroll Challenge. Just post your picks on Twitter with @SBRSportsPicks and the hashtag BetSBR before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. We'll be betting your picks, and if the bankroll is positive at the end of the week, you could win the profits. Picks must be of events taking place that day and available in at least one of the major sportsbooks shown in our Best Sportsbooks page.